story behind Pendulum is that back in 2006, I was, completely politically illiterate. And I knew that there were things to know. I knew that there were things other people were talking about, and they seemed pretty, meaningful. And I didn't have the vocabulary to participate in those conversations. And so I basically stayed out of it and just considered myself separate from whatever that was, and didn't care to involve myself in those subjects. I think out of just sheer laziness. And I mean, I had a good heart and a good, moral compass, but I just didn't have the inner motivation to find out what it was all about. And so I knew I didn't like George Bush. I was sure of that. The guy freaked me out. He scared me. And he gave a speech that December the 1st, I guess, of 2006, or maybe the night before, because it was December the 1st when this happened. And it gave me nightmares, this speech. I was asleep and I woke up, with visions of the apocalypse dancing in my head, kind of thing. And I walked into my office and I just sat down, like half asleep, and I just started writing, typing on my computer. And I sort of woke up as I was writing, and I started reading what was happening. I can type okay, but I can't type like 10,000 words a minute kind of thing. And I was just typing really, really fast, and I was reading each line after I would write it. And I didn't understand what most of it was about.
Were you just like...
I was just like, playing the piano, I was Elton John, But it was a very strange experience. It wasn't, out of the ordinary. I've been having weird experiences like that since I was a little kid, but it hadn't happened in a while. And it was very clear to me that this song was, or these words anyway, were above my pay grade. And I printed it out, and I read it, and I called a buddy of mine in Seattle who's a political activist. I thought he might understand it. So I called him up, and it was 3 o'clock in the morning East Coast time, so it was about midnight. I figured he'd be up, but I dialed the wrong number, and it was his mother. And she was up late reading, and she loves me, and she said, well, read it to me. I told her what happened. She said, read it to me. And I read it to her, and she says, wow, it's very profound, but it's very depressing to hear someone your age feels this way about the country. She said, just remember something. The pendulum swings left and right. And whenever you're sick of it being one way, it's going to go the other way. And this voice in my mind, in the back of my head, said, listen to her. Listen. And I said, okay, all right, well, thanks for your time. Say goodbye. Picked up my guitar and just instantly I just said, the pendulum swings from the left to the right. And it just flew. And I instantly just knew what the music to the song was. There was no thought put into it whatsoever. It was just there. It was just handed to me on a silver platter. And then 2 weeks later, I was scared of this song. I was like, I didn't want to play it in front of anyone. I was scared of what they would think. I was testing it out on a couple of friends to see what they thought, and they loved it. I finally got the courage to play it a couple weeks later for the sold-out show I played at the Rams Head in Annapolis, Maryland, and about 400 people. And I was shaking before I got on stage. I really was. I thought they were going to boo me off the stage. I really did. And then I played it, and I got a standing ovation. Wow. And so from the whole crowd, and that was very telling to me. I had this moment. You ever see The Lion King? Circle of life moment when the beam of light comes down and shines on him when he's holding up the baby lion. Like, I had this moment where I'm like, okay, all right, I get it. I have to go and learn what this is all about now, because I don't even know what the song's really about. I gotta go find out. So I went and found the first tinfoil hat I could, and I put it on, and I kept it on for years, And this song is the reason that I'm sitting in this room with you all tonight. If it wasn't for this song, my life wouldn't have changed on this trajectory toward, working with Ron Paul and working with the Liberty Movement and, being a conscientious objector to the tyrannical policies of the statist establishment. It's all because of this song. This is for Miss Nixon Ayers. I've been walking a tightrope between fact and faith addiction. Been wrestling with demons in small bottle prisons. Been talking to sinners that claim to be Christian. Been shouting at leaders that claim to be listening. And the pendulum swings from the left to the right. Its momentum increases the need for the fight. Like a moment of blindness in a lifetime of sight. And I am caught somewhere in the middle. I saw a president blind to the needs of his people. Saw a camel that passed through the eye of a needle. Saw a group of old men whose money was evil. Saw a cross breaking free from the cage of the steeple. Saw beggars and cripples dying in squalor. A son whose sins had exceeded his father. Saw a nation of slavers whose dreams were forgotten. And a bushel of apples from a tree that was rotten. And a pendulum swings from the left to the right. Its momentum increases the need for the fight. Like a blindfold when it's time to walk on the line. And I am lost somewhere in the middle. I heard the echo of suffering in the valley of laughter. Heard the rumble of earthquakes far under the water. I heard a court jester whose forked tongue was twisted. It told us of dangers that never existed. Heard voices that claimed to be morally righteous, whose lies and deceit were all dark and contagious. Heard talk of a country that valued its freedom. But when I protested, I was arrested and beaten. And a pendulum swings from the left to the right. Its momentum increases the weight and the height. But if nobody's listening, is anyone right? And I can't seem to find the key to the riddle. I met a young woman with a baby inside her. I looked, but there wasn't a safe place to hide her. I met an old man with a face like a mirror. He showed me his sadness so I could see clearer. I met an arrogant leader who robs us and cheats us. He pretends that his orders come directly from Jesus. When he sends out our children, the strange foreign soil, to kill for the right, monopolize oil. I'm raising my voice against the absolute religion that murders our freedom with short-sighted vision. Sing a new song about civilization and the palace of wisdom, the death of a nation. I'll lift up the veil that's hiding the holy and remind all the people that change happens slowly. I'll scream out a name to the echoes of heaven. Pray that the world don't end up where it's headed. As the pendulum swings from the left to the right, its momentum decreases, the end is in sight. But there's a lunatic handling our future tonight. And I am not somewhere in the middle. Somewhere in the middle. Do you guys relate to that song?
That's awesome.
A little bit?